Hey there, you're listening to BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, and MMA on occasion. Here's your host, RJ Carbone.
And a high drive into left center field. Stanley's going to watch another one fly. Are you kidding me? DiVincenzo a three. Bang! Bang! Knicks take a
Take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
At the wall. See ya! See ya! See ya! Mr. Nova.
Anthony for three. Bang! That one goes down and the game is tied.
Rose, you shook up the world again.
I did it again. But God did it, man. I really just had
Gonna have to. Brunson running away. Oh my! He has been the best player to put on that uniform.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
All right. Welcome to the show, everybody. Episode 848 of the podcast. Welcome to BD4. The Yanks took, I don't know why I have two there. They took three. They took 3 games at Steinbrenner Field. Let's fix this because now it looks like garbage. 3 out of 4 against the Tampa Rays. And it was at Steinbrenner Field. Home away from home in this series. The Yanks take 3 out of 4. They would have had this would have been a 6-game win streak if it wasn't for, but they're still in first place. With their win today, they've improved to 14-8. So still a very solid start. And they had another comeback victory in this series that makes 6 comeback wins on the year for the Yankees, which was or is tied for first. That was in the beginning or in the middle of the series where that was true. I'm not sure where they are now, but yeah, they are. They've been back to their winning ways in these last couple of series here, and it was a long 4-game set. It is late on Sunday, so happy Easter. Hope you all enjoyed it. So I do want to get this episode in because, I've got some things to do Monday morning. So with that said, let's start. Let's start recapping this thing, man. The first game of the series all the way back to Thursday, which feels like forever ago. These 4-game sets, it's just one more game. Shit feels like a week ago. The Yankees won on Thursday 6-3. They had Will Warren going up against the righty Bradley. The Yankee bats were able to score 6 runs all on Bradley. They scored 6 runs in the game on 11 hits, 2 extra base hits, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts, and 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position. In the top of the first inning, Aaron Judge, RBI base hit. Top of the 5th, the Yanks are down 3-1. Cabrera hits a solo shot. Bellinger with an RBI. That ties the game. Top 6, the Yanks take the lead for good when Dominguez picks up an RBI. Rice hits a 2-run base hit. It's 6-3. Top 7, you get Jazz Chisholm striking out, looking at a pitch below the zone. He gets ejected from the game after that. Goes on Twitter afterwards, literally 5 minutes maybe afterwards. Bitches about it. I have a very unpopular opinion. I'm sure 98% of Yankees fans disagree with. Sit the fuck down. Okay, you're batting $150. I was gonna say nobody wants to hear from you. I don't want to hear from you. Sit the fuck down. That's what I'm kind of over the guy. They scored 6 in 5 1/3 on Bradley. They scored no runs on the Tampa bullpen in 3 2/3. But you had Paul Goldschmidt going 2 for 5. Ben Rice going 4 for 4 before his final at bat. I won't count that, all right? He was 4 for 4. 2 RBIs, a double. Aaron Judge goes 1 for 4 with an RBI and a walk. Belly 1 for 5 with the ribby. Cabrera goes 2 for 5 or 2 for 3. Home run, a walk, and an RBI. He continues to hit very steadily. On the mound for the Yankees in this game was Will Warren, who has had ups and downs this season. After getting the call late last season and pitching absolutely horrendously and clearly not being ready for the big leagues yet, he took an off season, revamped some of his stuff, came into camp looking really sharp, had a couple of really strong outings in the beginning of camp, tapered off a little at the end, but he made the roster because of the injuries that the Yankees were dealing with, and has been up and down so far. Definitely better than last year, where he's not getting, hammered, but he's definitely not consistent. And in this game, Will Warren was bad, going just an inning in 2/3. Couldn't escape the second inning. Gives up 1 run on 4 hits and 2 walks. Struck out 1 batter, threw 53 pitches in those inning and 2/3. So he gets the no decision. Yeah, he was awful. He had no feel for anything. In the bottom of the first inning, he hung a couple of breaking balls to start the game. Misner picks up a leadoff base hit off of a sweeper that was way up. Lowe picks up a base hit off a curveball that was in the zone too high. Afterwards, he kind of lucks out on a couple of very hard line outs, and Judge makes the assist in right field to save him too. Bottom second, gives up a 1-out double, hangs a changeup. Mangum hits a single off him. He walks Royfed to load the bases with 1 out. Taylor Walls, light hitter, drives one to the outfield, sac fly. It was 95 middle of the plate, so of course he's going to barrel that. Ties the game. Walks Misner after that on a bunch of misses, low and out, and that's when he's pulled for Ryan Yarbrough. So it wasn't a good day at the plate, or it wasn't a good day on the mound, I should say, for the young right-hander. And listen, when it comes to Will Warren, I've become high on his upside. I am. But I do wonder if he's best suited in a relief role long term. I don't know if he has good enough stuff to navigate through the order second and third time. And that's a big problem. He's got a lot of movement on his pitches. He's got a lot of spin on his pitches, on all of them really, especially the sweeper. But like the fastball sits 93, and sometimes it'll decrease as the game goes along. He doesn't have good enough stuff to get lefties. He doesn't have anything hard going in, right? Like at least to righties, he can go with a 2-seamer. That plays into righties. But he doesn't have a cutter for lefties, right? He's got soft stuff that can go in with the curveball, with the slider, but he has nothing hard that he can go into a left-handed hitter. And so the trend continues where he just can't get lefties out. In this game, the Tampa Bay lefties went 4 for 5 with a double off Will Warren. This season, Will Warren against lefties is yielding a 300 batting average and a 954 OPS. That's horrendous. They've hit the changeup. He's not really confident in his curveball yet. He's not throwing a ton of 2-seamers to lefties. I feel like if he can command his location better, going front door with that 2-seamer to left-handed batters would be a good idea. Just to give a different look. The issue right now is lefties are just sitting changeup on him, and that completely kills his effectiveness. So I don't know if long-term he's best as a starting pitcher. And it's funny because we talked about Will Warren last episode, and I was kind of discussing what his potential ceiling could be. And I said, well, I definitely don't think he's an ace. And I think at best he's somewhere between a number 5 to a number 3. And I clipped that and I posted it on my Instagram, and I got a comment saying like, I forget what it said. It was like, this makes no sense or something. So I'm not really sure how that didn't make sense. I was pretty clear. And if that individual were to listen to this episode, he'd probably be even more disappointed in what I'm saying here, because maybe he's not even built for a rotation. We have to see more. Like this kid's young. Okay, he's got less than 100 innings of Major League ball under his belt. Patience is key with young arms, and sometimes here in New York or Jersey, we don't have patience, right? We want immediate effectiveness. And it might take a second for this kid, right? It took a second with, a guy who he's compared to a lot, Michael King. Wasn't great right away. It took a minute with Clark Schmidt to become super effective. A lot of these young pitchers, they have to adjust. The league's going to find things that are holes in their games, and they have to adjust to that. So it's nothing crazy macro, but it's just something I'm thinking about. If this continues, maybe Will Warren is best as a relief pitcher. But we'll see. Hopefully he bounces back. Hopefully he pitches I think on the 22nd. He's due to pitch in this Cleveland series, so we'll find out. Or maybe it's tomorrow. Actually, he might be pitching. Yeah. I think he's lined up to pitch tomorrow, the first game of the series, but patience is key. Go to the bullpen. They bent. They did not break. Yarbrough, he escapes the jam at the bottom of the second. Third inning comes. He gives up the 2-run home run to Caminero, 3-1 Tampa. Finishes 2 2/3, 2 runs on 6 hits and a walk. Strikes out 1. But the rest of the pen really got the job done. Tim Hill, 2 innings, no runs, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts, gets the win. Just continuing to get ground ball after ground ball. Ian Hamilton, an inning and 2/3, no runs. Devin Williams, in this game, 1 inning, no runs, no base runners, gets the save. It's funny because I wrote down here on my notes after this game, I wrote in a subheading underneath Devin Williams' stat line here, I wrote finding rhythm. Well, that's out the window. The Yankees win game 1 on Thursday, 6-3. Friday, game 2, they win this game 4-2. Is that wrong? Was this the 1-0 game? Yeah, this was the 1-0 game. Don't know where I got that score. On Friday, they won this one 1-0. Rodon went up against the right-hander Cody Rasmussen. Is his first name Cody? No. I'm all over the place tonight. Rodon goes up against Rasmussen, who now I kind of want to look up his first name because I want to know. Drew Rasmussen. There was a Cody Rasmus. That's what it was. Toronto had a player named Cody Rasmus. I listened to this game on the radio for the first 4 or 5 innings. I was working. Dave Sims is pretty good. I like what I hear. He's exciting. He's got a unique voice. I thought he did a nice job on the call. But I got home, watched the rest of the game. The Yankee bats in this game, yes, they only scored 1 run, 5 hits, no extra base hits, 4 walks, struck out 10 times. They went 1 for 5 in scoring position. Against Rasmussen, they scored 1 run in 5 2/3 innings. That was in the top of the second inning where Goldschmidt picked up a leadoff base hit. Escara worked a 1-out walk, and then Grisham picked up a 2-out RBI base hit to make it 1-0 Yankees at the time. They did not score any runs in 3 1/3 innings against the Tampa bullpen. Top of the 8th, Oswaldo Cabrera with a leadoff single. That was wasted. Top of the 9th, you had Goldschmidt singling and then Escara walking. That was wasted. But Goldie goes 3 for 4. Escara goes with 2 walks in this game. Grisham goes 1 for 3 with a ribby. Cabrera 1 for 3. Judge and Bellinger walk. No Dominguez in this game, just got the day off, and there was no Austin Wells because he got food poisoning. That's the second Yankee within a week, so that's cool. Carlos Rodon took the mound and was very good. 6 innings, no runs, 2 hits, 4 walks, 9 strikeouts, no home runs allowed, key, 102 pitches, and the win. It was an absolute gem from Carlos Rodon. He did a really nice job of working out of that first inning, where in the past, he 1,000% lets that rattle him and he unfolds there. But he worked out of trouble with his slider. Top of the first inning, he used his slider to get him out of a jam. That's his go-to pitch. Diaz walks. He couldn't hit the zone with anything at first. Sinker, slider, four-seam, nothing was hitting. Then he gives up a base hit to Caminero off of a hanging changeup. So he hangs a changeup to put runners on first and second with nobody out. And then he ends up striking out 3 batters in a row to get out of it. Right? He gets Curtis Mead to strike out looking on the 9th pitch of the at-bat. It was a changeup. In this at-bat, he sequenced it very well. He went soft, hard, soft, hard, soft, hard, soft stuff. Gets him looking at the change. Then he gets Morel to strike out swinging on a back foot slider. He sequences him nicely. He goes curveball for a strike. Four-seamer does a ball. Change up in the dirt, doesn't get him the bite. Goes back to the four-seamer. He fouls it off. And then he goes back foot with a slider to get him swinging for strike 3. And then he gets Jansen striking out swinging on another back foot slider. So the slider was yielding excellent results in this game. Rays hitters were 1 for 12 on it, 5 strikeouts, 29% whiff rate with the pitch in this game to just a 167 slug. So that was a pitch that was working. I thought the four-seamer played well. The velo was back to where it usually is. He averaged 96 miles an hour in this game with the four-seam. That was a positive sign. He was getting chases at the top of the zone. That's where he likes to go with it. He got results. The Rays were 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts on that pitch. The key, though, with the four-seam slider tandem is to lean way more into the slider, right? The four-seam is not a good pitch for him anymore. It gets slugged a ton, and the slider is his best weapon. So if he's going to go with that four-seam slider tandem, he does need to lean into the slider way more than he uses his fastball, even if he's risking throwing more balls. His changeup is effective, right? He's going away to righties with it. He still needs more command. He's got to keep that pitch down. He leaves it up a lot. And then he mixed in the one-seam fastball, right? That sinker that he's kind of gripping with one seam. He's been using it a little bit this year, which is nice. He got some swings and misses with it. I would like to see that pitch used a lot more. I would like for him to use that more than his four-seamer, to be honest. At least versus righties where he can go away or he can go front door with it. I feel like it could be a good pitch for him to keep the ball on the ground, in the ballpark. Throw that sinker more. And then a couple of curveballs he dropped in backdoor to righties. Also got a couple of swings and misses with that. So, a great outing. And Carlos Rodon continues to be... I know I wrote a blog about Clark Schmidt being an enigma. Carlos Rodon is also a total enigma. He reminds me so much of a former Yankee by the name of Michael Pineda, he was another guy who had all the strikeout stuff in the world, right? He had a hard fastball. He had a very good slider. He was a big dude as well, right-hander, but he was very similar in the fact that he had great stuff and just zero consistency. And it was maddening to watch him pitch, right? With Rodon, he's got the stuff, like the slider, the changeup, the curveball. They all have excellent drop. The slider moves very well horizontally. The sinker's got great sink. The four-seam fastball has some pretty good velo when it's on. He gets whiffs. He gets strikeouts. The expected numbers are decent. But his gems are far and few between. But I'm not going to give up on Rodon yet. I don't think anybody should, because he's the only one in the rotation besides Max Fried who's capable of racking up swings and misses at an elite rate, right? Carrasco and Stroman, definitely not. Clark Schmidt just got back. He can be a swing and miss guy. He showed improvement there last year. Warren, maybe he could be that, but again, the command's not consistent enough yet, and we haven't seen him show that he can get outs third time through the order, let alone second time. So going forward, I think the key for Rodon is just continue to mix up your pitches better and able to, keep the barrel numbers and the hard hit numbers down, right? And they are. They are much lower this year, his barrel percentage and his hard hit percentage, than they were last year. So that's a positive. But he's got to stay away from the middle of the plate, because when he doesn't have that fastball touching 96 plus and it's 93, 94, and he makes a mistake and it's high in the zone, well, everybody and their mothers can hit home runs today. So if you mislocate 94, it's leaving the park, and same with his off speed, right? That's actually been a bigger home run issue for him this season. Is the last 3 home runs he's given up this year have been off of his off speed pitches. So it's location, it's sequencing. That's going to be the key to Rodon. Yeah. So it was a good outing. 6 innings, no runs. The bullpen goes 3 innings, no runs. Leiter got the 7th. Finishes 1 inning, no runs, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. Cruz got the 8th inning, 1 inning, no runs, no base runners, 2 strikeouts. And Luke Weaver got the 9th inning in this ball game. 1 inning, no runs, no base runners, 2 strikeouts. There was no Devin Williams in this game because it would have been 4 out of 5 nights had he pitched. That was on Friday, where the Yankees once again won 1-0. Saturday, yesterday, as you are listening, it's 2 days ago. The Yankees win. They didn't win. They lost this game. They lost this game 10-8 in extra innings. This was Carrasco going up against the righty Shane Baz. The Yankee bats in this game, 8 runs on 10 hits, 9 of them singles. 7 walks, 12 strikeouts, 6 for 15 with runners in scoring position. So the offense showed out. Top of the first inning, Goldie, after a review, grounds into a double play, but the run still scores. And then Jazz Chisholm with an RBI base hit. 2-0 Yankees. Top of the second, Grisham goes deep again, 3-0. Top of the fourth, the Yanks are up 3-1. Judge hits a 2-run base hit. Wells picks up a sac fly. It's 6-1 Yankees. You fast forward to the top of the 9th inning, the Yankees are up 6-4. Judge and Goldie with a pair of RBI base hits make it 8-4. Top of the 10th, in a tie game after the Devin Williams debacle, which we'll get to in a sec. Grisham picks up a leadoff base hit. Volpe makes a terrible read on the ball. Does not score. There was no send signal, but he should have made a better read on the ball. I'm pretty sure he didn't get a send signal there, but I'd have to go back and watch. But Volpe didn't get a good read on it. That's on him. And so that kind of just derailed the rest of the inning. The Yankees stranded Grisham, or the Yankees stranded Volpe after that with a couple of strikeouts and a fly ball out. So against Baz, they scored 5 runs in 3 1/3. And then against the Tampa bullpen, they scored just 3 runs in 6 2/3. Judge goes 3 for 5, 3 RBIs and a caught stealing. Grisham goes 2 for 4, an RBI and a walk. Rice goes 0 for 1. He was hit by a pitch twice, left the game up after the second one, got x-rays. X-rays came back clean. Seems like he's okay. On the mound in this game, Carlos Carrasco, who gave the Yankees 4 innings, 4 runs, 6 hits, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. No home runs, 75 pitches, and a no decision. I think the sad part about this is that this is, like I said, this is an average Carrasco outing. He's an awful pitcher. He's awful. He's just as bad, if not worse, than Stroman. He doesn't have good stuff. It's all gone. He can't fool anybody. He can't come inside, or else he's going to get murdered. And that's exactly what happened. When he came in, he got beat. Bottom of the fourth inning. He unravels like crazy. He was looking decent for 3 innings. Fourth inning comes along. He throws a bad slider, middle of the plate to Caminero, leadoff double. He leaves a 93-mile-an-hour four-seamer up in the zone to Mangum, RBI base hit. He hangs a two-seamer to Caballero, a double. Ben Werfed comes to the plate. 94-mile-an-hour four-seamer, middle of the plate. 2-run base hit. All of a sudden, it's 6-4 Tampa. So it's not a coincidence that in this outing, Carlos Carrasco threw 58% fastballs, four-seamer and two-seamer, and he got shelled. Look at his best outings of the early going here, and then look at his worst outings, and you'll see a trend. Where in his better outings this year, he's thrown less fastballs, and in his worst outings this year, he's thrown more fastballs. In this game, the Rays were on his fastball because he threw it a lot. They were 4 for 8 with a double. They did not strike out once, and they had a whiff rate of 8%. We've talked about this all year. Carrasco needs to go away from his fastball, leaning to his changeup more, leaning to his off speed, because his fastball is not a good pitch. So he was exactly what I expected him to be. Bad. And I'm excited for Luis Gil more and more every day because I cannot stand watching this guy pitch. Nice guy, great story, great career. Don't like watching him pitch for my team. Bullpen comes in. Hamilton, Leiter, Weaver. They were excellent from the 5th to the 9th. Right? 5, 6, 7, 8. Williams comes in with a 4-run lead in the 9th inning. Easy peasy for the best closer supposedly in the National League last year. Absolute abomination. And we'll talk about that in a sec. Gomez ends up losing it in the 10th inning. He continues to be a really bad pitcher, by the way. And the Yankees lose. So, that was Saturday's loss, which, again, should have been a win. But they lose 10-8, and we'll talk about the Devin Williams stuff in a minute. Today, Easter Sunday, the Yankees go out there and they got a 4-0 victory. Max Fried going up against the righty Pepio. It was big to rebound like that after that garbage that you had Saturday night. So that was a plus. The Yankee bats, Grisham goes 1 for 4 with an RBI. He picks up a leadoff home run in the first inning to make it 1-0 Yanks. Bellinger, who was 1 for 4, couple of RBIs and a stolen base. RBI in the third inning to make it 2-0, and then a solo home run in the 6th to make it 3-zip. Austin Wells, 1 for 3, RBI and a walk. Hit a solo home run in the 9th inning of this game against Clevenger to make it 4-0 Yankees. So, Volpe goes 2 for 4 with a double. Goldschmidt goes 1 for 4 with the stolen base. Judge goes 1 for 4. He was also robbed of a home run with terrible umpiring and terrible review. And then Pepio, they got 3 runs on him in 6 innings and then 1 run in 3 innings against the Tampa bullpen. Overall, the Yankee bats mustered up 4 runs on 9 hits, 5 extra base hits, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts, and they were 1 for 7 in scoring position. The bullpen for the Yankees was good. It was just Fernando Cruz today. He pitched an inning and a third, no runs, did not have his command, so he walked 3. That's the one thing about him. But he picked up a strikeout, and he eventually ended up getting, I don't know if this counted as a save, but got the job done. So it wasn't sharp, still effective, which is good to see. And then Fried. Max Fried. He pitched into the 8th. Max Fried was spectacular, and he is getting the game ball. He's getting... I'm tipping my cap to Max Fried. He pitched an absolute gem today. 7 2/3 innings, no runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, 1 hit batter, no home runs, 102 pitches and the victory. Yeah, a total gem once again, right? I mean, he had a no-hitter going until he didn't, or until he realized he didn't, right? You had that 6th inning infield base hit, which was initially ruled an error, changed to a hit during commercial break, going from the 7th to the 8th inning. And that happened to be right after Judge got screwed out of a home run the half inning prior. It was a joke. It wasn't an error. It was definitely a hit. There was no way Fried was going to beat Simpson to the bag. But my issue was like, at least wait until after he surrenders his, quote unquote, first hit before you change that call to a hit. Because they issued that a hit right after the break. Or make the call immediately, right? Don't take 8 years to figure that shit out. Get your shit right. I mean, this completely threw him off, clearly. It happens every time. You can't screw the guy's mentality like that. He thinks he's pitching a no-hitter. He's waiting at the top of the dugout, about to come back into the game. And as he looks up, oh, look, the scoreboard says 1 hit. Right away, he gives up the 2nd hit of the game. Ends up pitching 7 2/3 innings, so he gets 2 outs in the 8th inning there. But my goodness, they botched that 1,000%. And I love the fact that Yes Network completely went at, I think his name is Bill Matthews, the scorekeeper. They went after him. They did not hold back. They made a graphic saying his name right away. Kay was ripping him. The camera zoomed in as close as they could. I mean, Yes Network was really putting an emphasis on how much of a, of a party shitter this guy was, which I love to see. But I don't want that to take away from the brilliance of what Max Fried was and is. Again, he didn't strike out many batters today. He didn't get a lot of swing and miss, but he got a ton of weak contact ground balls, and that was really effective with how great this Yankee defense was. And that's Max Fried's MO, right? He's going to mix pitches and get ground ball, soft contact ground balls. So good to see that. And he now has 4 cap tips on the year. So he keeps doing his thing, and just look at the guy's numbers on the season. It's, he's in the very, very early AL Cy Young conversation for sure. Across 5 starts, he's 4-0 with a 1.42. And it's not like this guy isn't an ace. So he can most definitely, obviously he's not going to keep up a pace of a 1.42, but he can most definitely win a Cy Young. This is a legitimate ace in this league. He makes great plays in the field. Was doing that this series. We'll talk about the defense. But yeah, Max Fried gets his 4th tip of the cap in 5 starts this year. He continues to dominate on that mound out there after a somewhat slow start to the season, but he's figured it out since. And folks, with that said, we're going to head to a break, and then we'll talk about some topics that we want to discuss really, I don't want to say really briefly, but we might be longer. We might be shorter than the usual 1-hour episode, 50 minutes episode, just because it's late here. But we'll talk about some things when we return from our first break here. Stay with us on BD4, episode 848. Be right back. BD4 is available on social media for those who want to follow. You can find BD4 on Instagram at BD4Pod. You can find us on X at BD4Pod. And you can find us on Facebook by simply searching BD4. Hey guys, just a quick reminder, this podcast is also available in video format on YouTube. So be sure to go over to the YouTube channel, BD4, subscribe, like the videos, comment, and tell me how much I suck or maybe how much you like the video. We'd very much appreciate it. Don't have time to sit down and watch a video? You can listen to BD4 on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Don't forget to give us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. And you can also watch the video format on Spotify too. Okay. Welcome back to the show. Episode 848 of the podcast. Now, the Yankees this season, they're off to a really good start offensively. They're like number one in a whole lot of categories, if not all. Right? They're 1 or 2 in like everything. I'm talking OPS, home runs, runs scored, on base. They're up there. I don't know how long that's gonna last, and sometimes things don't always go as planned or as expected. Heading into this season, I was saying I think the Yankees' biggest strength is going to be pitching and defense. This is how the Yankees are going to win games in 2025. Right? And you've heard the old narrative of the Yankees can't win without the home run. You might not be hearing that as much this year because of their pitching and defense. On Thursday, game 1 of this series, they scored 6 runs with just 1 solo home run. On Friday, they win a 1-run game. Very difficult to do that without hitting a single home run. And the Yankees will hit home runs, of course, right? And it will be part of their identity, if not the majority of their identity offensively. But that's how most teams operate today. And this season, I think the Yankees have an avenue here where they can win games in other areas, right? The pitching has been very, very good of late. It's mainly the bullpen, right? That's going to carry this team. Leiter has been super consistent for them. He's had, 1 really bad game all year, maybe 2 bad games. Fernando Cruz, the same thing. He had the 1 Pirates game. That's it. Luke Weaver has not allowed a run all year, knock on wood. And the velocity seems like it's coming along. He's been 95, 96, slowly ramping back to what he was in the second half last year. Tim Hill has been super reliable with the different arm angles, getting, soft contact ground balls. Ian Hamilton has looked good in this series. Devin Williams is the only true issue in the bullpen right now. Again, we'll get to him. But the bullpen is figuring shit out slowly but surely. I would like to say they've been successful in about 3 consecutive series now, right? They've been really good. They're creeping into the top 10 in a lot of categories. They're top 7 in ERA and WAR. Obviously, they're number 1 in strikeouts. Their rotation needs work. But I do think Fried and Rodon can carry. And I think Clark Schmidt is a big swing factor. Because if Clark Schmidt is healthy and right, he can also be very good, which means 3/5 of your rotation could be really solid for you. Rodon, obviously, we need some consistency there. Another, those 2 guys got to step up and help Fried. But I think those are the 3 guys I'm least worried about. It's the back end of the rotation. It's Will Warren and the unpredictability of young prospects. And it's Carlos Carrasco, who's just an unfortunate veteran at this point you have to have out there because you're out of arms. But the pitching has been really good in that bullpen. And it's starting to help the Yankees win some games. They've been closing out games with little to no room for error. The margins have been razor thin, but they've been nails. They've been lights out. So that's good to see. And you're getting a lot of length from Fried, and you're getting some length from Rodon now. Even when Rodon's not at his best, he's still figuring out a way to go 6. And I said pitching and defense because the defense, man, you had some lapses and breakdowns this series for sure. But especially on Saturday, but and Cabrera today, but I mean Thursday, you go all the way back to Thursday, the first inning. Aaron Judge guns down Misner at third base from right field. I got to go back and watch. I don't know if he baited him. He might have baited him to go to third base there. But he just, that arm plays up so much more in right field versus center field. And it's not just the arm strength, but it's the accuracy. It's the location, pinpoint location that makes it that much more impressive. So he gets the assist from right field. Third inning on Thursday, Jazz Chisholm turns 2 up the middle to keep the Yankees within a 2-run game, or within 2 runs at the time. So he makes a great play. 9th inning of that game, Oswald Peraza makes an excellent play, ranging to his left at second base. You go to Friday, the 2nd inning, Jazz and Volpe rolling 2 up the middle, smooth and easy play. 3rd inning of Friday's game, Volpe slides to stop a hard grounder to his right, makes the throw. Goldie makes a nice pick on the wide throw. 4th inning, Volpe with an incredible stop to his right. His momentum shifting backwards. He throws to first base with a pretty strong throw. Goldie makes another really great pick. In the 5th inning, you have the Goldschmidt rundown play. That's something that the Yankees totally screw up last season. They throw to the wrong base, probably a wild throw with it. There's no backup or no player on the other side of the rundown. Like, they totally screw that up last year. But they're playing high IQ fundamental ball this year, knock on wood. And this time, Goldschmidt fields it, heads toward the base runner, fakes the throw to third base, sprints after the runner to put him in a rundown and closer to third base, and then he gives it to Cabrera from there. Executed to perfection by a savvy veteran who knows how to play ball. Does not happen last year. 7th inning of that game, Grisham fields the ball off the wall, goes to Volpe, he goes to Cabrera, right? A nice job fielding it cleanly from Grisham and then getting the ball in. And then an excellent throw, an excellent relay from Anthony Volpe. That was good to see because he has been slow on his transfers in the past. But he makes the quick transfer. Ball gets to Cabrera. Cabrera makes a great tag to get the runner on third base out. Excellent defense. Saturday, you get to the 1st inning on Saturday. Cabrera makes a nice play in the field on a hard ground ball. The 5th inning on Saturday, Grisham makes an excellent catch in center field to save the game with the tying runners on base. In the 9th inning, Cabrera makes a huge double play from his ass to get the game going to extras. Saves the Yankees there. And then today, a number of defensive plays. The 3rd inning, Max Fried with a great play at first base. The 4th inning, Max Fried picks off a runner at second base for the 3rd out. In the 5th inning, Grisham makes an excellent catch, ranging to his left, makes the throw to second to double up the runner. 7th inning, Jazz Chisholm saves the no-hitter at the time, going to shallow center field to make a catch over the shoulder. You got Volpe and Jazz going up the middle some more today for some double plays. You had a couple of Cabrera bad throws. That's a little concern, but I'm really not too concerned about this defense because it continues to really just flash leather. And you have to credit the manager. He's utilizing his entire roster, something he didn't do last year. He's putting guys in the right spots. Grisham's getting a lot of reps out there now. Bellinger's playing left, center, right. Judge is back in right field this year where he's much more valuable. And so you look at it overall, the Yankee defense this season, if you're into the metrics, they're 4th in defensive runs saved. They were 12th last season. They're 9th in outs above average. They were 12th last season. For the traditional fans, they're top 10 in errors and fielding percentage. They're playing good defense. They're pitching really well in the bullpen. And I do think the rotation will get better for what it's worth. So that's going to be their identity, in my opinion, all year. It's going to be pitching and defense. And there couldn't really be a worse segue, but I guess one of the guys you really got to worry about right now is Devin Williams, because he's not been pitching well. Devin Williams is a mess right now. He's a mess right now. Saturday's game, again, he comes into the ninth inning, the bottom of the ninth inning, with a 4-run freaking lead. And he hangs his stupid screwball to Caballero, who picks up a 1-out base hit. He walks the number 9 hitter, Ben Rortvedt, on 5 pitches. You're walking the number 9 hitter. And then he gives up an RBI double to Simpson, 93-mile-an-hour four-seamer up in the zone. The first hit of his career, I think they said. Diaz picks up a soft infield RBI base hit, whatever. He hangs a screwball to him, doesn't get good wood on it. But then Lowe comes up to the plate. It's a 2-run base hit. The 5th consecutive base runner he puts on, the 3rd straight hit. The 3rd straight hit, he hangs another screwball. And all of a sudden, it's a tie game 8-8. And after this game, I see a lot of people blaming the manager, blaming Aaron Boone. Is it Boone's fault because it's not a safe situation? I think that's a dumb take. Devin Williams is supposed to be your lockdown closer. He's your guy. And he had looked better entering this game. Right? He had strung together 3 or 4 in a row where he looked really sharp. Williams is a pitcher whose job it is to get outs regardless. So he's putting him into the game as one of the better pitchers in baseball, supposedly. It's his job to get outs. Now, going forward, yeah, maybe we're learning things here. Don't put him in these situations anymore. Yeah. But, I had no problem with it, man. I had no problem with it. And I'm at a point now with Devin Williams where I tried being patient. A couple episodes ago, we talked about this. I tried. I'm sorry. I was wrong. This guy exudes no confidence. He is the definition of low energy. It is alarming when I watch him stroll around on the mound out there. His body language is shit. He looks like he doesn't want to be there. He looks like he could not give 2 shits less. He looks miserable. He looks uninterested. He looks broken. Have some presence. Command the mound a little bit. Control this game. You have to show some kind of confidence. But mentally, he just doesn't look like he's built for the moment. He's got Clay Holmes all over him mentally. I think he can have a good season. The numbers, just like Clay Holmes, might look fine at the end of the year, but it doesn't mean he's going to be a winning pitcher for this team, right? That's what I'm concerned about. He can go out there this year, and I don't know if he'll have, at this point, it might be too late to pitch to a 1-something ERA, but he can go out there and have a 2.30 ERA and rack up 40 saves. It doesn't exactly mean he's been a winning pitcher here. We've seen guys put up gaudy numbers, and it never felt like they were a winning impact. I feel like he could be one of those guys. He doesn't exude any confidence when I watch him out there, and he's hard to root for. He's really, really difficult to root for. He comes here and he bitches and moans, "Oh, change the rule or I won't pitch." Didn't exactly put it that way, but I'm sure, dude, shut up and do your job. It's difficult to root for the guy right now. And I, people are talking about, well, take him out of the closer role. I also don't think that's going to do much. He still has to pitch. I don't think changing roles is going to all of a sudden make him what he was. Like, he still has to go out there and pitch. What if he gives up 3, 2, 4 runs in the 7th or 8th? There's no difference. You just have a couple of more at bats to rebound, but he still has to pitch. Who's going to close? I don't know about Weaver. I like Weaver in the 2-inning role. I don't want my closer doing 8 and 9. Leiter has pitched in big spots before. He's proving himself. Showed it in the World Series. Fernando Cruz looks dominant. He's gotten a couple of saves now. He's missing a ton of bats. He does walk a lot of guys like Williams does. I don't know. Do you stick with it? I don't know at this point, but I'm definitely not where I was a couple of episodes ago when I said he'll be fine. Because, you look at the baseball stuff, the fact that Devin Williams' stuff is just as elite in terms of its movement and its spin. Like his screwball is getting the same break it's always gotten. It's really good visually, but it's not getting the same results. It's not getting strikeouts. It's not getting whiffs. It's not getting chase, anything. And that scares the crap out of me because that means that hitters have made adjustments on the screwball and the fastball, on his sequencing, and they're sitting changeup. That's scary to me that they've made adjustments and he's yet to figure that out. It's not like his stuff's not there yet and he's got to work his way to it. No, his stuff's just as good as it's ever been, but now it's not getting results because they figured some shit out on him. The book could be out. So maybe it is still early and I'm overreacting, but yeah, I'm not in a good spot with Devin Williams. There's a very good chance the Yankees got a broken pitcher here. I don't want to say very good, but there's a chance the Yankees got a broken pitcher here. Somebody who's not broken, Trent Grisham, man. And Trent Grisham, I'm going to tip my cap to him. Because, man, you talk about somebody who is just absolutely raking right now. Trent Grisham, in this series alone, he goes 4 for 11, a couple of home runs to a tune of a 1326 OPS. He had a walk, 3 RBIs, 10 total bases in this series. Trent Grisham on the season, get this, a 320 average, a 700 slugging percentage now, because he's got a double, 6 homers, 13 RBIs, 5 walks. I mean, he's been just awesome in 20 games. Second cap tip of the year. Trent Grisham is out there looking like Babe Ruth, playing like Babe Ruth. Maybe he is Babe Ruth, reincarnated. But yeah, they're kind of playing him in a rotation. It'll be Bellinger who gets the day. It'll sometimes be Dominguez, and it'll be Grisham. But kind of making it hard to sit him right now. He's one of their few lefties who can hit lefties. They have a couple of them. They have Bellinger, who's supposed to hit lefties, but they've had Grisham for a couple years now, and the approach has definitely changed this year. He's jumping fastball. He's jumping earlier in the count. He's not taking everything like he used to, and it's netting really good results. Don't know how long this is going to last. I have a feeling that at some point we're going to look back and laugh our ass off at April Grisham. But I do think he could be a serviceable outfielder for this team this year, even if he's not going to bat, 364. He's been so fun to watch, though. Go to the bullpen. Tip my cap to Ian Hamilton. Ian Hamilton in this series, 3 2/3, no runs, 3 strikeouts, 1 hit, 1 walk, 19 pitches, picks up a hold. He pitched on the 17th in game 1, and then he pitched yesterday in game 3 on the 19th. Had a couple of had a couple of rough outings when he first came back. Really started to look solid in this series. Now, if he can get his velocity back to what it was when he was right, with that 4-seamer, with that 2-seamer, if he can get the velo back to 97, that slider is going to play up that much more. Because that Slombio pitch that he throws is a really good pitch, but it's best when it's sequenced and when it's pitch tunneled with that 2-seamer. Right? Going in two completely different directions, away from a righty into a lefty. Like, it's a really good sequence to watch. So Ian Hamilton with that 97 to play off the slider, vice versa, could be a deadly weapon for this Yankees team, for this Yankees bullpen. So it's nice to see him find some kind of rhythm this series. And hopefully he can continue to get back to what he was 2 years ago when the Yanks first brought him on board. We'll see, though. Now, not every Yankee is exactly on point right now. There are a lot of Yankees who are struggling offensively. Cody Bellinger has put up some very weak at-bats this year. The power doesn't seem to be there, but hopefully this was a series that kind of gets him going. He was better this series. Couple of RBIs. He has the home run today. He has a walk, and he only struck out once. Maybe he gets going. But he's been awful offensively. Anthony Volpe. Man, it's sad to see him just tank. Always starts the season hot, and then he just tanks. A little different. He's been struggling with those 4-seamers. That's, usually it's the issues that he has against breaking balls and off speed. But in this series, they were attacking him up high in the zone with high velocity 4-seam fastballs. The Rays got a stable of guys who just throw 98 plus. But Volpe on the season versus breaking balls and off speed has an .063 batting average and 32 at-bats with 1 single, 1 double, and 37% K rate, and that was entering today. Against 4-seamers entering today, he was 1 for 8. So he's just, not a consistent hitter. And again, he was better today. He had a couple of hits, a double, pulled the ball, which was good to see. But I'm at a point where, I'm done kind of getting optimistic and excited about these mini hot streaks. I just need to see him do it. There's no authority. There's no intent. Pull the ball with authority. Just start displaying your power, man. For so long, I've been wanting to believe he has it. I just don't know anymore. Jazz Chisholm continues to be absolute garbage at the plate. Hasn't really shown too many signs of breaking out of it yet. Hopefully yet is all it is, and he eventually does get hot. But he's been awful. Absolutely awful. Austin Wells, maybe slowly finding it. This series in 2 games, he goes 2 for 6. Couple of walks, couple of ribbies. Has the home run today. That'd be nice to get him going. The Martian has been inconsistent and a bit streaky, right? Obviously, he's been much better from the left side this year. But, I'm getting a little bit, he's hitting a lot of ground balls. I worry about that, so it was nice to see him put the ball in the air a little bit today. He did get cheated on that strikeout early in the game. He got 2 pitches on the inside that were called strikes that were not strikes. But you want to see him hit the ball in the air a lot more than he's doing. Line drive power. Power is only power if it's in the air. Not if it's on the ground. Not if it's a pop-up. But it's the Yankees need these guys, right? They need their lefties. They need their young players. Because Judge and Goldschmidt are not going to bat 400 forever. Right? Grisham's not going to be Bonds all year. Ben Rice is day-to-day at the moment. You know, in baseball, I understand that not everybody 1 to 9 is going to be on their games all the time, but you paid a lot of money for this lineup, and the idea of this lineup post Juan Soto was depth, right? And you're seeing it, right? Again, Judge, Goldie, Rice, Cabrera, Grisham, that's 5/9 of your lineup. But you just need some of those other guys to step up for when those guys start slumping, right? And you hope that those guys do wake up. Because you have Bellinger for a couple of years here on a pretty big deal. Need some more power from him. Austin Wells, you know, it was nice to see him wake up this series. Hopefully it's not a sophomore slump and he gets it together. Jazz Chisholm, who a lot of people were talking about extending when he was, you know, hot in that Torpedo series. I mean, he's been awful. He's been maybe statistically the worst hitter in baseball over the last couple of weeks at least. Terrible. Just terrible. Inefficient, awful approach, terrible. Striking out left and right. Whiffing at everything he hacks at. You get 2 strikes on him, it might as well be strike 3. It's the same thing. He's important. They need him to get it together. Because when he's on base, he's so dynamic in what he can do. So those are guys who are going to make or break the Yankees here when, you know, Goldschmidt does start to regress a little bit, when Judge does hit a little bit of a slump, although maybe this is a slump, just hitting singles and hitting, you know, 500. But, you know, point being, they paid a lot of money for this lineup. They need some more guys to start chipping in. But that's it for this series. Up next for the Yankees, we're going to talk about that when we return from our final break. Stay with us here on BD4. If you feel like supporting the podcast, you can Venmo at Robert-Carbone-JR-28. We really appreciate your support. Do you enjoy Yankees baseball but are tired of hearing me yap? I have a suggestion for you. Go check out Yankee Crazy Podcast. Greg Gill is a Yankees podcaster on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and he's now selling merch. Go to yankeecrazy.myshopify.com. Stay connected with us. Visit BD4blog.com to explore our blog, tune into our latest podcasts, and follow us on social media. Thank you for being a part of this community. It's funny because I said I wouldn't go the full length in this show, and this is going to end up being our longest episode of the season. Where are we? Up next for the New York Yankees. They start a series tomorrow. They're in Cleveland for 3 games to conclude this road trip. It's obviously their first time meeting Cleveland since the LCS Game 5. But, you know, Cleveland this season is off to a very slow start. They're only 12-9, but they are, you know, in second place in the Central. They're a half game behind Detroit. They don't have much of an offense, but they do have decent pop. Steven Kwan's having a solid year. Jose Ramirez got off to a very slow start, but he's been red hot in his last couple of series. You know, they've got guys like Manzardo, Arias, Martinez. They've been very good for them. Their rotation's not been great. You know, the matchups in this series, the Yankees will be missing Logan Allen, tough lefty. But on tomorrow they've got the righty Williams, who has had a solid start to the season, but he is coming off a bad game. He's going to be matching up with Schmidt. On Tuesday, they've got the righty Tanner Bybee, who's had a very erratic season. He's had 2 starts where he's put up goose eggs, and then 2 starts where he's completely blown up. So we'll see what Tanner Bybee has in store. He's towing the slab against Will Warren on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, the Yankees have the righty Ortiz, who has been pretty good for them. He had a rough opening day, but since then he's been pretty consistent for the Indians. So he's going up against Carlos Rodon on Wednesday. Their bullpen is actually mostly solid, I believe, outside of, funnily enough, Emmanuel Clase, who I think the Yankees completely ended him. I mean, his ERA is almost 8. In over 10 innings this year, his ERA is approaching 8. He blew another game in the 9th inning today. He gave up 3 runs to the Pirates. Cleveland did end up winning in the 10th inning, but this guy has just not been the same this year, and the Yankees might have broken him. So I think the Cleveland Guardians are a team that the Yankees need to go out there and take care of with at least 2 out of 3. So let's do that. Let's aim for that. And that's it, folks. Let's get to our trivia question here to wrap this one up so I can go to bed. Okay. So for this episode, in episode 848 here of the show, our trivia question of the day is, which former Rays All-Star placed 20th in MVP voting for the Yankees in 2012? And your hint is that he was a pitcher. All right, this is a fun one. I'm really curious to see if anybody can get this one. Which former Rays All-Star placed 20th in MVP voting for the Yankees in 2012? He was a former pitcher. All right. So that's our trivia question of the day. Very, very curious to see if anybody can get that one. Folks, I appreciate you all tuning in as always. And I will see you very soon. Go Yankees. Go Knicks too. Also, if anybody's a fan of the show Last of Us, oh my gosh. Watch that episode too if you haven't yet. Go Yanks. Well, if you made it this far, that means you listened to or watched the entire episode. Thank you. Just remember to follow, subscribe, download, rate and review, and all that fun stuff to help out the podcast. And I will see you in the next episode of BD4.